No one tells you this before you start, but the hardest part of building a business is not the business, but doing it alone. Over the past months, I've hosted private calls for more than 40 Bootstrap founders. No recording, no pitching, just honest conversations of what's really hard right now. And here's what surprised me. The 5 same struggles came up almost all the time. If you're a Bootstrap founder and you ever wondered if other founders go through the same things, they do. So here are the 5 struggles that every Bootstrap founder shares but rarely talks about. Struggle number 1 is founder isolation. The first struggle is the one that underlies everything else, and a lot of founders I talked to brought it up. When you need to make a hard decision, for example, pivoting your offer or firing a client or investing your savings, rarely somebody understands the whole weight of the situation or of the moment. And friends and family are supportive, but they don't really get it. And at the end, you make the decision by yourself alone, or you go back and forth for hours with AI to support you in some way. But this isolation compounds and it gets you into a hole that you dig deeper and deeper. And what struck with me is that almost all the time you're not aware that you're isolated until you talk about it. So you feel busy, but at the end, feeling busy and being connected with other people who get what kind of decisions you have to make is something completely different. Struggle number 2 is the scaling trap. This one hits especially hard around the 6-figure revenue mark. At this stage, a lot of founders are the product. So their taste, their qualities, their skill set, their knowledge, everything is like built around them. So how do you hire people without losing the quality that is essential for your business? Or how do you build a sales pipeline when all of your sales or all of your customers came from word of mouth or networking at networking events? And most founders admit that they don't know yet. And they're figuring it out in real time. So it's hard because also most of advice is written for VC-backed founders who have a lot of budget for hiring, for example. So what I kept hearing is that founders feel stuck in that stage, not because they lack ambition, but because the general advice is not matching their reality. So when you bootstrap, scaling beyond yourself is a complete different game compared to startups who are VC-backed and can hire a lot of people in a short period of time. The third struggle is being in reactive mode. You start with a clear plan on Monday for the week, and then on Tuesday you're already drowning in fires. Client escalation, a tool breaks, somebody in a team needs help from your side, and you plan to work the whole week on the business, but you're actually working in the business. Then there's a shiny object syndrome with a lot of new AI tools, a lot of fancy opportunities or potential side projects you could work on. And at the end of the day, there's no feeling of closure. Just a to-do list that got longer and longer and longer. And a pattern I notice is not that founders are struggling with time management, but more with the feeling that comes with it. That sense of I was busy the whole day, but I built nothing at the end. And it's also not about productivity. It's more about the gap between how they spend their time and what they actually care about building. Struggle number 4 is business dependency. And this one hurts because it's the exact opposite why most of founders started. You build a business for freedom, but now it can't survive 1 week without you taking customer calls, checking Slack, or writing emails. Many founders admit that they haven't taken unplugged vacations for years. And what's painful here is really the irony of it, because most founders started because they wanted more freedom. And now the business is the thing that keeps them away from it. And admitting it feels like failure, but actually a lot of bootstrap founders go through this stage with their bootstrap business. Struggle number 5 is confidence and positioning. Some founders are building genuinely valuable things, but their customers or potential buyers only open their wallets when their house is already on fire. So for example, preventive solutions are hard to sell, or price confidence is also another challenge. So you might know that you're undercharging, but it's risky or it feels risky to raise your prices because you don't have the safety net to do so. And the knowledge isn't the problem most of the time. I think it's a confidence, because a lot of bootstrap founders, especially in the early stages with not a big safety net, every pricing decision feels like an existential decision to make. And that weight is something that very few people around you understand. So talking to founders and seeing those 5 struggles, none of them are rare. They're universal. Yet most founders, I think, carry them quietly because they assume that everybody else figured it out. But at the end, they don't. And I think the main difference between feeling overwhelmed and feeling okay with it is finding the peers around you that really get what you're going through and can support you or share challenges or just like exchange about them. And if you want to get more insights from founders on how to build a business or bootstrap business without sacrificing your lifestyle, feel free to subscribe. See you soon.